All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Bahashem, Chawadash. Giving double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Peace and salutations to the Akim, the brethren out there on the highways and byways that are pushing this truth to 100% sincerity. And peace and salutations to the few and sincere sisters who believe in this gospel. So I want to entitle this lesson, So They Shall Make Their Own Tongue Fall Upon Themselves, right? And I got a YouTube video I'm going to play a short clip of that I want to go into. And it's specifically going into Amalek and the deeds of Amalek. And this dude, Tyler Oliveira, who is basically what he's doing is he's bringing out how these Amalekites, right, the so-called the small hatters, the so-called Jewish people, you know, especially in these enclaves up there in New Jersey and New York, how they have basically manipulated the system for their favor, right? How they got into these political positions and they have, you know, basically defunded the public schools, the public school system in those towns, and pushed
your vehicle before driving.
And push funding towards their own private schools, and you know, to do, you know, their own bidding and their own agenda, putting the non-Jewish people at a disadvantage when it came to their schooling, and funding, and things like that. Basically, you know, isolating these people. Basically what it is isolating these people and putting them into a position to where they, you know, well, yeah, basically they're at a disadvantage, right? And this is what Amalek has been doing up there in these enclaves, and this dude, Tyler Oliveira, has been bringing out this information. So I'm going to play a little short clip of this video. Fair use. So let's go into it.
You're not welcome here, and you're not welcome in a lot of other places based on your videos.
You don't own this place. You don't own America.
No, you should move on. Nobody wants you here. Please move out.
Tyler, it seems like you discovered that anti-Semitism is lucrative, no?
So Pat obviously thought that we should pay for their money, so why don't you move to a different country? So
Why don't you go back to Israel? That would be my question.
I got like
public safety.
I would say 150 calls about you already.
What are they calling about?
People trying to live a quiet life.
You two gentlemen, I saw a video of you walking into 136 Hillside. They asked not
Fair
to
enough.
come back.
Amazing.
If you come back, it'll be a trespassing charge.
So you say anti-Semitism, I say anti-Goyism.
The Jewish community is extremely racist.
You have a group of people that call themselves God's people. You are a Semite supremacist.
Elon Musk has 12 kids. Why can't I have 12 kids?
He pays for them. You're arguing that I should pay for your kids.
I'm arguing that the government's end.
That's our money. I pay taxes.
Excuse me, sir. What are you doing? Can I call the cops on you? Okay, that's
We may be in a corrupt hellhole. So what am I being pulled over for?
We got a call. Keep your hands on the steering wheel when you do so.
This is Lakewood, New Jersey, home to one of the largest and fastest growing Orthodox Jewish communities in America, having anywhere from 6 to 10 kids per family, causing the community's rapid growth to spill into the neighboring towns of Jackson, Toms River, Brick, and Howell, causing non-Jewish residents to fear that their town will soon be turned into Little Jerusalem, just like Lakewood.
The tactics within this community, I would liken it to organized crime.
All right, so you see the video. It's called "I Expose New Jersey's Jewish Invasion" by Tyler Oliveira. So if you want to go watch that, you know, that's where you can go and find the video at, right? But that's what he's doing. He's going into these enclaves, and he's basically just exposing what they're doing. All he's really doing is, you know, going into these towns where they live at, and he is documenting the things that is going on, right? A lot of those people are on welfare. A lot of them are on public housing. They get free housing. And it's all from taxpayer dollars, right? And then they isolate. They've taken control of the political system, and they isolate anybody that isn't a part of that Jewish community, right? And basically what they're doing out there with Tyler Oliveira, they treat him like a nigga. And he was a dude, he was speaking Spanish, so he could be a Northern Kingdom Jake, but they definitely treating him like a nigga, right? So, now they seeing how it is getting treated like a nigga, and, it's funny to see. It's funny to see. They calling the cops on them, you know what I'm saying, cussing them out, honking the horn at them and all that stuff, man, because they don't want him there and all that. So, he's getting the full-on nigga treatment, right? And I named the video that, because I assumed that he was he was possibly an Edomite. He could be. So I might change the title. I might just change the title to Amalek being exposed. But that's what it really is. All he's doing is exposing what's going on with them, and they don't like it. They can't stand it because they're seeing how these people really live, because they try and make it out that, these people are just oppressed. You know what I'm saying? They're at a disadvantage. All of these things, right? They try and make it out that they're all of these things, but yet we see what the real deal is and what's really going on. So, they try and make it seem like everything that they're doing is, is what they should be doing, but, people are seeing it for what it is. They get preferential treatment for no reason at all. They take over and they put other people at disadvantages and everything like that. So this was the book of Psalm. I'm going to go here, start first. Chapter 64 and verse 8. And it reads, "So they shall make their own tongue fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of the Most High. For they shall wisely consider his doing. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord and shall trust in him. And all the upright in heart shall glory," right? So if this guy is an Edomite, it's just Esau exposing Esau. Their tongue falling upon themselves, right? So if he is an Edomite, this is a part of prophecy, right? And that's the spirit going on now, is these Edomites exposing each other. You got regular Edomites exposing the elite for the wickedness that they do. Regular Edomites exposing Edomites, regular Edomite supremacists or so-called white supremacists or whatever, exposing them, telling everybody what kind of bullshit that they own. It's a lot going on in this time, right? It's a lot going on in these days and these times, man. Esau's just fully being exposed at this moment, right? Esau's just fully being put to shame, right? Especially these Amalekites, and they don't like it. They hate it. They can't stand it. They can't stand it because everybody is beginning to see them for who they are. They don't have that. They don't have that innocence that they used to. You know what I'm saying? It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, starting at verse 43. It says, "The king of Babylon have heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as of a woman in travail. Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan unto the habitation of the strong. But I will make them suddenly run away from her. And who is a chosen man, that I may appoint over her? For who is like me, and who will appoint me the time? And who is that shepherd that will stand before me? Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them," right? So the least of the flock being Amalek, the so-called you wish folks. Eventually what they're going to do is they're going to draw out Babylon, America, to World War III. And as you see that thing tensing up over there with Iran and, what's going on in the Middle East, you see that conflict over there tensing up with Iran ready to go to war, ready to go to action, which the Izzies, they didn't expect Iran to be as prepared as they are. You know what I'm saying? They didn't expect for Iran to be on the type of time that they're on. Right? So what's going to happen is that, when Turkey eventually leaves NATO for this very reason that America is siding with Amalek, right? Turkey is going to end up leaving NATO, Gomer, and that's going to be one of the next prophecies to kick off World War III, right? Because all of these Arab countries, right? And some of them are some of them are Elam too, but mostly Middle Eastern countries, man, they're tired of dealing with Amalek, right? And they're tired of America too, always siding with Amalek. So this is going to lead to a greater conflict than what we see now, World War III, right? And in protection of the Amalekites over there in that land, America's going to go to war for them, or they're going to do something that's going to trigger a greater conflict, and America's going to come to their defense, which is also ultimately going to cause everybody else to turn on America, which they're already turning on America, but even more so now than later. It's the book of Numbers, chapter 24 and verse 17, and it says, I shall see him, but now I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come out a star of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. And Edom shall be a possession, Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth in the city. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up this parable, and said, Salakia, and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. Right? So right now, Amalek is number one of the nations. Right? Meaning that Amalek is really on the top. Amalek is really the ones of the ruling class. Right? They're all Amalekites. They try and disguise and hide themselves, change their names. But it's all being exposed that a lot of these elite are Amalekites. A lot of these people in power are Amalekites. Well, when you look at these towns, they even brought it out that a lot of these guys, a lot of these politicians, a lot of these politicians get put in power by, of course, voting, but they get funded by these billionaires who are Amalekites as well. And that's who is advocating for those people in those towns, right? But again, it's getting exposed. And even when you go looking at the land over there, right, America is funding the Amalekites over there in that land. American taxpayer dollars is a part of the funding over there for them Amalekites over there in that land as well. Right? Just like it is over here. They found a way to finesse and fuck the system. And, that's what they're doing. It's the book of Exodus, chapter 17, starting at verse 14. It says, And the Lord said unto Moses, Write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven, right? Because again, we're going to go and put them in a captivity, put all of the heathen in a captivity for 1,000 years. But Esau as a whole is going to be blotted out of the earth, right? It says, and Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi. For he said, because the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation, right? And this is a part of the Lord having war with Amalek, him exposing to all the people of the earth the wickedness and really this fraudulent preferential treatment that they get, even though that they're the cause of a lot of wickedness and destruction on the earth, right? So the Lord is playing a hand and putting a spirit on a lot of these Edomites to expose them, right? First, his prophets, the men of the Lord, but then secondly, his own people, or Salakia, Amalek's own people, right? The Lord is putting the spirit on his prophets to bring these things out, but also he's putting the spirit on Edom, Esau, Edom, to bring out all of the wickedness that Amalek is doing, right? Which is Amalek exposing Amalek, right? So, Lord willing, this video lesson was edifying. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Chakorash. Until next time, Shalom.